his email includes music, comic, and ENT, and he is definitely all three of those as I've known him. I'm Reverend Ellie Bierman, and I'm really glad you joined us here today for the Let's Get Metaphysical show, which is all about what do you most love about your life? What is your priority? What priority do you want to live? And that's why this guest today, as I've known him, he's multi-talented and he's really into whatever he's doing. And that's why he's here helping me, because I just bought a brand new computer and hopefully the show will come to you.
That's what it's saying. Bla Ze Bey.
Okay, so I let him introduce himself to you. And would you please share with us three things that nobody or hardly anybody knows about you?
Yeah. Greetings all. My name is Bla Ze Bey. You was getting kind of caught up with it, which is funny. Because this is what's funny, Ali. My life is like there's like bloopers every day in my life. So I don't want you like all like don't even feel bad. This is part of being around me. Weird stuff just happens. Trying to get everything together. But yes, my name is Bla Ze Bey. I'm so grateful to have met Ali. I think it's going on like 3 years now. We went, that was the Wisdom app we met on.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, and that was quite the experience, meeting her and podcasting at that time. But three things about me um, that nobody would know. I play the piano. I haven't played in a while. I just started playing again, so I'm like getting back into the groove. But I used to play the piano for my former church when I was going to church and just playing by ear, playing things. I used to play in the talent show and doing things, but now I'm writing music, so now I want to get back into playing again. Um, another interesting thing most don't know about me, if you're seeing me for the first time, uh, I'm a runner. I started doing I'm training for a marathon.
Oh,
So I
my.
started doing yeah, so I started doing these races.
Oh,
See, the last 6 months I did a 5K yesterday. But we can go into that another day, and I can apply metaphysics to that all day.
cool.
You see how the you see how the video did that?
Hey, it's supposed to do that if it
I'll
was.
figure. It's gonna be doing this all throughout the interview. I'm gonna figure it out. But
See, I
I got
told
into
everybody
running.
you're special.
Yeah, and it seemed like it now. I don't know. Zoom has changed so much. It used to just be like you can click over there. I figured this out, but I started running. I did two 5Ks. I did a 5K yesterday. I ran two 10K races. I did a half marathon, and next month I'll be doing my first marathon.
Oh,
Um, so that's that. Um, Another fact, many don't know about me. I just got diagnosed with ADHD.
oh, interesting.
But I mean that no that I was grateful to like hear like it's not just me that something else is going on. So I know like right now, everybody's talking about, like ADHD, autism and all of these titles. For me, I'm not looking, I don't say that, you know, just looking for a title or something to be under. But I've been struggling my whole life, not knowing that it was something else,
Uh,
and especially for black men, uh, I talk about this because many uh, black men are going through this and don't know. Everybody's going through it. Somebody's going through it, but particularly I'm talking to black men because one, we are taught to just whatever's going on with us, we're taught to just deal with it. Deal with your emotions. You don't be crying about nothing, and that could really affect your mental health later on. And it was really starting, yeah, and it was starting to affect my mental health. Like I'm 35 now, but it started to affect my mental health in a way where I'm like, I know I can't be losing my mind. There's got to be something going on. Um, so yeah, I went and I started I started going to therapy first, and then through that I got a I got a diagnosis. But even with that diagnosis, even with being testing for ADHD, I'm not so worried about the the name, but it does get challenging, and it does help to give a name to something and to start pointing things out. Like if I get overwhelmed, or if I get overstimulated, like now I have words that describe certain things that I didn't know. Like you don't know what you don't know, you know. So I say all that to say, like, especially my black men in general, but especially my black men, if you feel like whatever it is, don't feel like you can't talk to nobody. Don't like you don't have to suffer in silence. Whatever's going on with your mental health, like go talk to somebody. Don't feel like you ain't, it'll make you less of a man. It helped me to understand what it means to be a man by going and getting that uh checked out.
oh, wow. That was definitely not what I was expecting you to talk about.
Oh
That's
yeah.
but that's important. And whatever message you have is exactly the message you're supposed to share today. So thank you for doing that.
Was that three things?
Yeah, that's three
I
things.
think it was, yeah. Yeah, I play piano. I'm gonna start doing piano videos again. The running and yeah, ADHD.
That's exciting. I lost my piano in one of the moves. So it was our family piano, and boy, do I miss it. Boy, do I miss it.
Mm.
I have a couple of guitars, but it's different. I can't just sit down and do it. Well, I can,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you just, whatever happens is, I believe, is supposed to happen. And that's not
Mm-hmm.
always an easy lesson. However,
No.
now that I'm learning that, it's
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot easier to get through my days. 'Cause I had a brain injury in 96, and boy, I couldn't even use my eyes. Everything was so
Mm.
distorted. And then after the stroke, the same thing was happening. So a lot of what you described. So I'll be struggling with, because my brain's healing itself, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not where I used to be. So I can get confused and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Everything you're talking about, and people
Mm-hmm.
don't understand how come I can't keep up and how come I don't understand because I used to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong or bad about it. It's just that's
Right.
part of my journey.
I even as me saying like being diagnosed with ADHD, I know I'm neurodivergent. I've always been neurodivergent, wherever that was. Like I know there was a time like I could be on the autistic spectrum, but the thing is us being neurodivergent and those who are neurodivergent, we are some of the most brilliant people in the world. We've all of the some of the most famous people were neurodivergent. Like Albert Einstein was a neurodivergent. You know, so many people, and we're able to do certain things that the average person can't. And this is not, um, it's not saying that we're just better or
Yeah.
anything like that. But when you do have that neurodivergence, you hyperfixate on things, and you eventually build a relationship with that. So like I was hyperfixated on just music, period, vibrations, um, sounds. I've always been hyperfixated on. So when it came to doing music and even playing the piano, like I can say I was playing the piano before I was actually playing the piano. Because when I would listen to music, I would listen and I would act like I was playing the piano, you know. In my head I was. So when it came to playing the piano, it kind of made it easy. Like it was still a challenge because you got to practice, practice, practice. But I already had the movements down because I was doing it before I even touched the piano. So we have a relationship to certain things. We have a relationship, like a hyper fixation with things, and that's how we excel the way we do.
So
Everybody's just different.
before I had kids, I was a clarinetist. I wanted to be a professional. And if I was someplace where I couldn't play, I'd read the music and I'd do exactly
Hmm.
what you were just saying. I'd be doing it in my mind and in my fingers, but I
Yeah,
didn't have an instrument in my hand. I think a lot of people do that. Certainly a
yeah.
lot of creative people.
Hmm. That may and mentioning that, um, it was almost like being in choir when I used to be in choir growing up from middle school up into college. And the things that I started learning about metaphysics, about spirituality, when it comes to breathing, visualization, affirmation, all of these things that you learn, on this journey, I started to get that from music first, whether it be, singing in choir, my choir teacher telling us to breathing from the diaphragm. I got exposed to that very young, not knowing that would become some use in my everyday life. Um, I'm also clairvoyant, or well, I'm clairvoyant as well. A part of that was built through my musical training, being in choir, because whichever choir teacher that I had, shout out to all my choir teachers, by the way, all my music teachers. They gave us visualizations. My high school teacher, Ms. Wilcox, she would say, like, when we're singing certain parts, like, and visualize a flower, you know,
Wow.
blooming, and she would give us these visualizations,
Wow.
and that's what trained my clairvoyance. Um, clairaudient, being able to hear things and not, being able to hear music when there's no music playing, or being able to hear beyond the normal hearing. A lot of that was developed in choir and doing music. And those who do music, you understand what I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? It's like you just have a different relationship with sounds. You hear things that some things you wish you didn't hear. But a lot of that came through my musical training. You know? So I'm very grateful for that because it really laid the foundation for a lot of my spiritual practices and mental practices. I don't come from a musical family per se, but we love me like We had to use music for everything, whether it be in church, family gatherings. It was always some music. On Sundays, uh, or Saturday mornings, my mom would be playing gospel music, R&B music while we cleaning up.
Well,
Music was always playing. But I started to notice a pattern that certain relatives were actually doing music. Like I had a, I have a cousin who raps. He's a Christian rapper. He's been doing music for a while. And at first I was like, okay, that's cool. But then I noticed like, okay, then I'm getting into music and rapping, and songwriting. And I got another cousin that is in the songwriting and making music, and another cousin and my nephew. So like you got to start paying attention to those little patterns. There's music runs in our DNA. So that's something that I want to pass down to the next generations. Now that I know that I'm able to see this pattern, that's one of the things like we do music and it's more than just making music to be famous or making music, to be to whatever. It runs in our DNA. That's how we connect with God. That's how we connect with life is through music. The universe is making a song right now. So it's like doing music that also connects you with nature because nature moves in a rhythm and the cosmos moves in a rhythm, so that connects you on all those different levels. So that's something that I'm music is always going to be involved in some way, and I'm gonna teach my nephews and my niece, and if I have children, they gonna know the importance of music as well, not just to listen to it.
as I'm listening to you, and my mom, well, she had four sisters and a brother. My mom was the only one musical, and she'd sing and dance.
Hmm.
None of my cousins, none of my other aunts, uncle, nobody.
Hmm.
Because, yeah, I hear how you say it runs through your family. It didn't run through
Yeah,
my family. Nobody else was into music. Just
those
interesting.
those are like those little we talk about inheritances, things passed down. We think it's just money or inheriting land. No, we inherit talents and spiritual gifts. I know the artistic part. I've inherited that from my mom because she's an artist. She doesn't sing, but she's a straight artist. And the arts, that is something that just runs in the family. I see it as an inheritance because it's a blessing because it's opened up so many doors for me. And yeah, that's one of them things I'm gonna continue to pass down.
No, I'm understanding why I'm so crazy about you, even though we hardly ever connect, because that's how it was in my family. My
Hmm.
father was so gifted, everything, and I can just do things. He could
Yeah.
build, he could create, he could design, had a
Hmm.
gorgeous voice. And he was an artist, and I didn't know until later after he was gone. In his scraps, I saw pictures that he was drawing and designing. I didn't know all the stuff he
Hmm.
designed and built. And I design and build.
The builder.
Yeah, I build furniture. And if I want to know how to do
Hmm.
something, he died when I was really young. So it's not like I had a conscious teacher, but I
Hmm.
just know how to do things. Everything that you're
Yeah.
describing, I just know how to do it.
Hmm. We
This
get
is
inherit those are inheritances, and a lot of times is we have to go through things in life for us to really activate those inheritances. Like a lot, especially neurodivergence. But anybody with those talents, there's some point in your life where you have to go through something that makes your talent that actually makes it make sense. Like some people, they know when they're a child, oh, I was meant to be a singer, or I was meant to do that. Some people that happens later in life, but there's always something that you have to go through. It's like it's not easy. Something it's like that's the trade off. You have to go through something. Some people come from broken homes, they go through some type of drug addiction or some type of abuse. It's like that's what make even though it's tragic for anyone to go through that. You have to go through something for you to activate that gift.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, if you look at all the leaders in whatever field, it's exactly what you're saying. They had some kind of major,
It sounds crazy, you know, but that's the out. It's the it's that's the alchemy. So I would consider. I tell like we do like we have all of these talents, right? Like we do so many things. It's hard for me to just choose like just to say one that I'm one thing. Like
right.
I love comedy. I like to write, but I'm not like religiously doing these things. Which if I was, I'd probably be somewhere else with it, you know? But like with music, it's like, oh, it's alchemy. It's everybody's alchemy is different, you know? If I could just say I'm something instead of just saying like I'm a rapper, a musician, this or that, I'm alchemist. It's every time you're playing something, every time you're writing, you're making a joke. Even us having this conversation right now is alchemy happening in real time. You know, so I'm an alchemist, and I can prove that. Um, I'm with a part of a music team. It's me, Bla Ze Bey, Vinny Crew, and Love Ego. Now these are two artists that I've met here in Beloit, Wisconsin, and we've been there's some rappers. I just started rapping back in like 2019. But I'm a songwriter, but after I started working with them, that's when I became an artist. Like I was just writing songs. I wasn't trying to be on stage. I'm always I'm shy. I'm always trying to be in the background, you know. But you know the way life works. Like if you're supposed to be on stage or you on in front and center, that's what's gonna happen. But being around them has helped me to become a better artist in general because they are serious about their craft. Like when you hear them, they are rappers. Like you know when you can hear somebody singing and somebody singing, or somebody rapping, like they some rappers. So they helped me build confidence in my craft. So we released a song called Better Days. And what I love about Better Days is it's got a gospel feel to it. I grew up in the church. I'm not religious no more, but that soul that I was around in church, you know, that spirit is still with me, and you can still feel that in whatever it is that I'm doing. So I love that it's just it's a feel good song. Um, we wrote it back in 2022, and it's you when you hear it you wouldn't have known because it speaks through all timelines. You know, it speaks for every generation.
Every time I talked to you, you had a different focus. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I've been
It's
waiting.
all yeah. It's always something different. That's how the spirit moves with me. You know, it's and I used to feel bad for that, Allie, because I was like, why can't I just focus on one thing? Why can't I? It's like my focus will be here, and then my focus is here. In a lot of ways, you know, you need focus on one thing, but sometimes you're not like I'm not supposed to be stuck in one area. You
Mhm.
know, like right now, my focus has been running,
Yeah.
but it will go, you know, it's knowing where to put your focus and to put that energy, but it's all using that same spirit. Like it don't matter what I'm doing, what genre I'm doing, where I am. you're gonna know it's me. You know what I'm saying? It's not me trying to be something that I'm not. Not me trying to be better. Because like even some of the music, it might not be like the rest of the music. Whether it might not be like the rest of the music on, that's popping, but it's me. You're getting me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like just no matter what it is that I'm doing, I want you to feel my vibration. You're gonna feel the vibration of Bla Ze, you know.
I feel it all the time. That's why I love connecting with you, because there's no such thing as time or distance.
No.
I feel it really strongly from you. So
Oh
hopefully,
yeah.
yeah, for those of you who are just listening, you might want to go over to YouTube so you can,
The link in the description where they can go stream the song.
yeah.
It's one of those, it's a feel good song. It's three. What I like about it is it's three different artists. We have three different things going on, but yet we all three looking for better days. You know what I'm saying? We all on that same page in our own different world. You know, so
Yeah.
I like that.
The most fun I ever had in a service was I think it was Southern Christian. It was a Baptist wedding, and the place was
Hmm.
rocking, and it was
Oh
so
yeah.
much fun.
Hmm. I love gospel music, even though I'm not in, like I said, I'm not religious anymore. But gospel music, I still listen to my gospel music because I know, and my ancestors were in the church and they love gospel, so that's still a part of me. And gospel is alchemy. Gospel is alchemy in music. It's we had like you said, listening to those songs that might have been like you said, minor keys, might have been monotone, and then to take that and to put that with a certain feeling.
Mm.
Like a certain like let's say with Christian or with Catholic hymns, and let's take like let's say a person who has been enslaved and they done lost somebody or they're going through some type of anguish, and they put that into they're singing that hymn with that anguish. It creates that there's alchemy taking place right there. You know, so it's like when you hear Baptist music or especially black gospel music, that is a sacred science. That's not just a genre. That is a sacred science of healing, of changing your vibration. When they change the key, when you change, one thing I like in gospel is when they're modulating in keys, you're also changing your vibration too. So it's like as you're going higher, it's like symbolically you getting to heaven. That changes your vibration. It's healing. So
Well, this is cool.
yeah.
I I'm just so glad I'm with you today and you're sharing all this stuff because the whole point is you love this. It shows in who you are.
Hmm.
And that's the whole point of our show. If you're not living what you really love, you're wasting your life, in my opinion.
Hmm. I had to show the love. There's love right there. Love.
uh,
What it's about.
for those of you listening, and if you haven't already done it, go ahead and get it's a very short, I guess you could call it a book, uh, your first steps on your spiritual path, because it will fit right
Mm.
with everything you've been learning from Bla Ze today and just give you another way of looking at your life and your world. And that link will definitely be in the show notes. And also, always remember that Audible has a gift for you. So if you follow that link, you get to have 30 whole days to explore in Audible. And there's a whole lot there. It's not just Audible books. Please check out everything that you've heard today and whatever links that we're putting in there, because it can move
Mhm.
your head to a different space. And
Oh yeah.
everything starts with a thought, and then we put our feelings in it. And if your life isn't terrific, if it doesn't feel good, nobody's doing that to you. You're doing that to you, and you get to change it. You have to make the conscious decision to do that, though. I thank you again for joining us here today. Again, I am Reverend Ellie Bierman. This is Let's Get Metaphysical show. Remember to enjoy. That's capital I-N, capital J-O-Y, every moment, because nothing in your life happens outside of you. Everything happens within. I look forward to being here with you next time.